Diddle up, diddle up, diddle up. Your declarant of truth is here with his best Rush Limbaugh impression to announce a Twitter update. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Yeah, Elon Musk captured Twitter last month. Now, apparently, comes the grinding down and rooting out of the thought police that have ruled it since Jack Dorsey's day. Or does it? Leftists are squealing and conservatives are celebrating. All but one. And that one might be the only one to keep Elon Musk and Twitter honest. Before I tell you who that one is, and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot has been going on at Twitter since Trump came back to it, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which quotes George Orwell saying, "Boy, did I call it or what?" Maybe George Orwell never really said that, but he might as well have. Elon Musk is certainly finding out, and he still has a decision to make. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click on that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now, you will recall that Elon Musk reinstated Donald J. Trump's account. Now, to this day, Trump has not left anything new on it. The most recent tweet dates to January 8, 2021. The Anti-Defamation League and its CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, howled like banshees, as did other leftists. But the most remarkable part of the saga of Trump coming back to Twitter was the poll Musk took of Twitter users. I have links in the description to 6 tweets from Musk talking about Twitter reform. First up is the Trump reinstatement poll. Remember its results. 52% to 48% with just a little over 15 million votes cast. Now, compare that result with the next tweet, which is a poll Musk commissioned on whether to restore all suspended accounts so long as the account holders had broken no laws nor dumped large quantities of spam on the platform. 72% to 28% with 3.16 million votes cast. Those results no doubt reflect the cleanup of bots. Note how many fewer votes the poll recorded than the last one. In any event, Musk, true to his word, said the mass reinstatement would start next week. So that's the third tweet. And yes, he said Vox Populi, Vox Dei, just as before. Next up, we have a statement that hate speech impressions are 1/3 lower than baseline. With it is a graphic showing a baseline of, I assume, 3.75 million hate speech impressions a day. These spike to 10 million a day and then drop to 2.5 million a day and stay there. Now what's going on? Where did those impressions come from? Why did they fall back? Elon seemed to think that the impressions came from 1,500 specific accounts. So in the 5th tweet he says, quote, "I have half a mind to wag my finger at those people, but I shall forbear." Close quote. And almost at once, he puts out the 6th tweet in which he talked about limiting daily tweets to, and I quote, "what a speed typist on meth could do." Close quote. Whatever the limit was, it seems to have cramped the style of bots and addicts. Yes, addicts, because people do get addicted to Twitter. But the game didn't end there. I have links to 6 more tweets about things Elon has been finding by looking under a few rugs. First up is a video of his discovery of a closet full of merch bearing the hashtag #StayWoke. who commissioned all those t-shirts. Thus far, no one will take credit for it. Much more serious is this observation Musk made when another user asked about analytical manipulation at Twitter. The user shared a graph from his own analytics and said this was an indirect indication of deliberate throttling of an account's followers and other analytical measures. In answer, Elon said, and again I quote, "It has been really bad. Far left San Francisco/Berkeley views have been propagated to the world via Twitter. I'm sure this comes as no surprise to anyone watching closely. Twitter is moving rapidly to establish an even playing field. No more thumb on the scale." Close quote. Next, he affirmed a far more serious charge. A user named Patrick W. Stanley wrote this, and I quote, "I heard from a primary source that political groups would regularly contact Twitter to deboost their candidates' detractors, and Twitter would happily do that. This seems to put the finger on the scale of democracy." Close quote. Said Elon, writing back, "It is objectively the case that conservative political candidates were more negatively affected than progressive candidates. Anyone using Twitter knows that. The question is simply one of magnitude." Close quote. Next up, Musk seemed to promise to share the minutes of all discussions that led to the platform to block the New York Post from posting about Hunter Biden's laptop. A certain user said, quote, "Raise your hand if you think Elon Musk should make public all internal discussions about the decision to censor the New York Post story on Hunter Biden's laptop before the 2020 election in the interest of transparency." Close quote. Elon actually said back to him, and again I quote, "This is necessary to restore public trust." Close quote. The Associated Press sent the next tweet I've left, and in it they seem to out-banshee the ADL. They suggest that online safety experts predict that the coming general amnesty will spur a rise in harassment, hate speech, and misinformation. Musk was having none of such scared talk. First, he said flatly that the AP were such experts at misinformation that Twitter could never hope to compete with them. And then he demanded, in a polite but sardonic way, that the AP name some of those online safety experts they claim to cite. You want to know what I think? Maybe they consist first of 2 successive trusted safety officers who have lost their jobs. Maybe they also include a former subordinate of theirs by the name of Melissa Engels. She used to be a Twitter moderator. In an interview with the NBC station in the San Francisco Bay television market, she said, quote, "On the current path, I'm really worried about Twitter's future. Over time, these things build up, and the site will become more abusive, more extreme, and less reliable over time." Unquote, Melissa Engels. I have a link in the description to a tweet by Mr. John M. Curtis with video of her saying that. And in reply, I say, "Is that so?" Well, hey, I'll tell you the real problem with Twitter. Before I do, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Now, whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities that company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursewerlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. And now, the real problem that Twitter has had for at least 4 years. Inconsistent and selective application of the Twitter rules. So that you will at least have an opportunity to know how these rules read. I've left a link to them in the description. Those rules say nothing about having to be leftist in outlook, unless you count their prohibition against weapons sales. Now, Gab permits weapons sales, but forbids the sales of financial products or services or anything to do with endangered animals. Dinesh D'Souza knows this. I have links to the description to 3 tweets by D'Souza showing that he knows this. First up, when Elon said that the AP were experts in misinformation, D'Souza heartily agreed. He took a screen cap of that exchange and then he said, quote, "The most widely disseminated, most hateful, and most damaging misinformation over the last several years has come from the mainstream media, not from the right." Close quote. Next up, he also agreed with the proposed audit of the decision to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story. Then took another screen cap, shared that, and this quote, "The left is terrified that Elon Musk is revealing the full depth of their tyrannical schemes to conceal, distort, and suppress the truth." Unquote, Dinesh D'Souza. Third up, Dinesh directly confirmed the selective application of the rules. Quote, "We don't hear much about Democrats and leftists being let back on Twitter. Why? Because they were never kicked off in the first place. Their lies and misinformation simply escaped all scrutiny. Censorship has been deployed as a one-way operation against conservatives." Close quote. To which Elon Musk replied, "Correct." But leftists tried to pretend otherwise. I'll give you an example. A user calling himself Cal tried to deny the selective application of the rules. He said, quote, "You don't hear anything about Dems being kicked off of Twitter. Is that we don't whine when we suffer the consequences of our actions, and we don't break the rules as often as those on the right who were kicked off Twitter. It happens to both sides." Unquote, Cal. Right away, Kanye West demanded that he cite some examples, and he's still waiting. Yes, that Kanye, or Ye for short. He's the one who drew a suspension with a fixed time limit, which expired. Then we have someone calling himself SoCal Persister, who tried to suggest that the Twitter rules were more extensive than they are. Here's what she said, quote, "Or maybe it's because people like felon Dinesh D'Souza and the MAGA crowd are the ones who violated rules against misinformation, hate speech, violence, election denying, insurrection plotting, ... Close quote. Now just a moment, SoCal Persister. If you had read the civic integrity policy, you would have found not one word that specifically forbids anyone to question the fairness of an election. Furthermore, the Twitter rules state that, quote, "Organic content that is polarizing, biased, hyperpartisan, or contains controversial viewpoints expressed about elections or politics," close quote, "does not violate the Twitter rules. Does not." Now maybe Melissa Engels thought it did, but she was wrong, and previous management was just as wrong to let her punish people for that. Now at this point, I tip my hat to Steven Crowder, as in louder with, for the first clues in the research that I conducted. But I also have to cite 2 skeptics on the right. Laura Loomer is one. 4 years ago, she lost her account, the first step to becoming the most banned woman in America. In fact, to Loomer became a verb, meaning to ban comprehensively from all conventional platforms. Hence her book, Loomered. I have links in the description to 3 Telegram messages from her. In response to Elon Musk's promise of general amnesty, Loomer said, and I quote, "Guess that means we're all getting our Twitter accounts back next week." Q2 upside down emoticons. Okay, I will believe it when I see it though. I don't have much faith in anyone or anything these days. closed with a skull, unquote Laura Loomer. Later that day, she sent 2 lengthy Telegram messages about how it felt to lose her Twitter account on that very day before Thanksgiving, and her desire for vengeance against those who ignored or made light of the censorship, or at least accountability for their cowardice, complicity, whatever you want to lay before them. Now, Andrew Torba is the other skeptic, and I have to tell you, this is very strange. He recently did something that seriously harms his credibility, or he suffered a curious sanction on Telegram. All of his messages from May 25th, 2022 to November 23rd, 2022 have simply vanished. That has never happened to a Telegram user before, and I have to wonder, who made it happen? Did he sanitize his account, or did Telegram administration? No one will say. If any of you out there think you know, leave a comment. Hey, Andrew Torba, if you hear this, leave a comment. Tell me what happened to your messages. In any case, I have links in the description to 2 Telegram messages from him about this Twitter business. He has taken note of Musk's boast about fewer hate impressions. He then posted a dire prediction about what will happen after the amnesty goes into effect. Quote, here's what comes next. Hashtag the noticing in every reply thread on the site naming them. Parenthesis based, parenthesis close. App Store bans. Amazon Web Services ban. Twitter feed is hosted there. European countries ban. Payment processor ban. And continued advertiser exodus. Close quote. Now that could be either a doubt that Musk is serious or anticipatory schadenfreude. Torba will be first to point out that he has suffered all the things he named, and that's why he built everything that anyone took away from him. This includes his own server farm and his own payment processing system, and a business model that relies more on user fees and less on advertising sales. I have an account on Twitter. As I've said many times, I'm going to watch closely who else comes back and who will pay particular attention to Laura Loomer's account. Or that is, I will pay attention. Laura Loomer aside, the criticisms all come from those who want a censorship regime or a competitor still trying to establish his brand. Now, Musk can treat the first category with the contempt they deserve. Andrew Torba, however, deserves his attention, at least a little bit. Like him or not, and I certainly do not agree with everything Andrew Torba says, and even less with some of the contents that he has forwarded to Telegram lately. At least he's honest, and he's setting a standard for letting people express their opinions, however outrageous, with all the freedom that the laws of man and God allow, with the understanding that others can slap you down just as freely. Link in the description of the article, to 6 tweets by Elon about reforms, to 6 more tweets by Elon or the Associated Press about his discoveries, to the interview with Melissa Engels, to the Twitter rules, to commentaries by Dinesh D'Souza, Kanye West, the SoCal Persister, and via Telegram, Laura Loomer and Andrew Torba, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to rsilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my Twitter war playlist with extra attention to the one about state actors, of whom Twitter was one. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.